everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. In the last part, we beat the third dungeon, the Fortress of Winds, and got this Ocarina of Wind. Now, upon using the Ocarina of Wind the first time, if you haven't activated any wind crests, this one will still be here no matter what. This is the only one in the game you don't have to activate, and that's because it's a storyline important one. And you might notice that's a little mushroom there, that's a Minish house. We've been in one of those before to get our bombs, actually, so let's go check that little place out. And he wants the fuse, okay, that's probably gonna be a piece of heart. In fact, I think this one is actually a piece of heart. Yeah, that is one. I specifically recall that one being a piece of heart. And that's to the north of the house in the Western Wood. But that's only half of what we're here for. If the talking to the specific Minish will actually activate something. There's apparently the Temple of Droplets, which is going to be the next dungeon, can only be accessed through methods we don't have yet. An Elder Library here in the library, I see what they did there, can activate it. Or allow, pretty much give us the methods of getting in it. Now, talking to that specific Minish actually... Whoa, that's a loud scream that guy makes. Talking to that specific Minish is actually what opens the library up. So now we actually have... I believe actually with that we also have full access to the entire town. Pretty much as we see here, as we talk to this Minish, we're going to find out that we actually can't reach library because of some humans borrowed books from the library that we need to get up there. How there are ladders on these and no one notices, I'm not sure. That's the library's house just there to the right. Anyway, here on the first floor of the library, there's this, the returns person you can talk to. And this will start up the main part of the quest where you actually have to get 3 books back in order to restore that bookshelf to its former order. The first book is in this house here in Hyrule Town.
Say, look at that, Link. There's a book on top of the bookcase.
You don't say.
But how are we going to get it? We can't reach it, and we have no ladder. I don't think that just shaking the bookcase will make it fall, either. This presents an interesting problem, wouldn't you say?
Kitten. By the way, I should mention, you're gonna need, to fill, every time you go into a place where you need it, you're gonna need a bottle of water for pretty much every book. But douse that flame with a bottle of water, and we can now actually enter that fireplace like we could a couple other ones. And now we're on top of the building. And we can actually head into her house. I believe her name is Juliet, actually.
Whoa, did you see that cat looking at me? I know it wants a piece of me.
Yeah, cats are little devils, but I love them anyway. And,
Wow, that really startled me.
everything's scary when you're small. Indeed. The cats will actually usually intentionally try to kill you. I think they all do, actually. But now that that book's on the floor, we can head down here and actually get the book. So let's go and return that to the library. But along the way, there's Candy here who I wanted to fuse with. I just randomly found her and found she was a blue one, so I was like, yeah, I might want to do this. And this is actually part of a bigger side quest, if I recall correctly. But how are we going to get to that? Anyway, finally back in the library, talking to her when you have the book, well actually, she'll put it behind her. And that'll open up the next part of the quest where you need to find book number 2, which is the Legend of Picori. And I actually haven't shown this guy's house off yet. It's this house right here in the lower part of Hyrule town. And by the way, that dog, if you talk to it, when you're on your way over here, talk to it as a Minish, it'll finally start moving. Pretty much the book is missing somewhere in this house, but we actually can't find it just yet, but make sure you douse that flame as well. We want to come in here as a Minish, and talk to this specific Minish as well, because there's a treasure we need to actually access the book, but we don't have it yet. The clues that he just gave us are what actually activate that part of the quest to do so. That Minish house, by the way, directly to the north of us, has a green Kinstone fusion in it. Because if you don't talk to that Minish beforehand, this Minish in this house will actually be in your way and won't move unless you do something else. Pretty much, what that first Minish I was talking about refers to a hidden treasure in this area, and we need to go and get it. Also, you can talk to Epona. Yeah, actually, I suppose this would be Epona, wouldn't it? That's something to think about. But now that we can actually go through there, we can access this little area.
Who knew there was a place like this behind the town water plump?
Well, maybe we should get moving and find that Minish treasure. And it is rather important, considering it's a passive item. You know, I always love that sound effect of the Kinapaki. And more blue bulldozers, and I actually managed to get the spin attack off. I think the spin attack definitely does more damage in this game. Because if I finished that one bulldozer off in one hit, whereas it took the rest of these guys one or two. And that's a big chest, and what do we have in here? But the power bracelets. So now when we're Minish size, we can actually push things around. Mind you, we can do that with certain objects before anyway, but now we can push really big ones. And there's water here, which we can't pass, even though there's a piece of heart over there, so that kind of sucks. Anyway, back here in, I think his name is Wright, actually, because I think he's actually from, I think he's a reference to SimCity. You can push those, bookshelves and such over to reach, his rafters. And you can actually see the book was just in the top right there, but what we need to do is, it needs a certain amount of weight to be pushed down, and to get that amount of weight, you actually need to split yourself up amongst these panels. And then just get on the book's edge like that one Minish right there is. Usually you should be able to make it right before you run out of magic for that thing. So let's return here as a normal-sized person and actually retrieve the book. And with that, we've got the Picori, Legend of the Picori, so let's bring that back to the library. And for book number 3, which is the History of Masks, it was checked out by the mayor, so let's go check him out again. What's up, dude? And he'll say that it is, in fact, at his house, or at least he knows he checked it out, but he doesn't remember if it is where it is. But as we can see, there is in fact a Minish house up there. So let's go up there and check that out with the Kinapaki. Seriously, Pocky. That's the exact same name of a little Japanese candy. Maybe it is Peachy or Pachi. I've been calling it Pocky my entire life. Who am I kidding? But these guys will pretty much say that he took the book home, but never came back with it. Which likely means it's at his lake cabin. Which is in the lower part of Lake Hylia. And they don't actually tell you how to get there. What you have to do is head to the exact same section of Minish Woods where Syrup's hut was, and then use your moments to dig through this area. All those little patches of dirt that I've seen and mentioned throughout the game are of these kind. They will always have this little area to them. So there's also, aside from the pathway to the lake cabin, there's something else important in this area. You might notice there's this little branching path. Also, we have our first normal like that'll steal your shield. As if you look carefully at this wall right here, it's actually different. You can kinstone fuse with it, and these are all required for 100% because these lead towards getting a certain item. But we find our old Goron friend in that cave, because this is actually the exact same cave that he was breaking into, and it's a surprisingly large cave at that. And it'll bring another Goron to him, and we'll help him break down this wall. Why it makes an explosion sound effect, I'm not sure. But pretty much these mysterious walls are your way of advancing the Goron side quest. The more you fuse with, the more Gorons will show up and help them proceed on in that cave. And we're here in the lower half of Lake Hylia. And I see you up there, piece of heart. I just can't get you. And there's the book right there. Now this was me thinking I'm playing A Link to the Past and could just knock it down. I actually forgot that there was a little Minish passage on the right. Because what you do actually have to do is use your, Pegasus boots, just like in A Link to the Past, but you have to use them a different way. You have to use them on this tree. And for some reason, knocking the leaves off that tree makes, one of those little brown spots on the ground get covered up. Ah, spam firing the A button, I love you so. But now we're in his house as a Minish, which is how we actually have to get the book, well, at least access the book. I have to push this staircase, shelf over to the right, and then push the book down. Then we have to come back in here as a normal-sized person and get it. Come over here, thank you. And now we got the history of masks, so let's bring that back to the librarian, shall we? And with that, we've gotten all 3 books. And this guy who we saw up there, the guy who screamed earlier, Sturgeon, who is an extremely fast old man as opposed to his appearance in Wind Waker, I will now place all those books on the bookshelf, so now it's all up and orderly up there. So let's go and check that out. See, now this book is here, and talking to this guy, even though I have my rupees maxed out, well, I'll give you 50 rupees. Come to think of it, in terms of rupee amounts, I think the only games that actually allow you to go above 900, 999... Did I just say 900 twice? I think are Skyward Sword, Wind Waker, and Link Between Worlds. I think Skyward Sword, it's been a while since I played that. And, oh, you're just a recolor of, the guy from the freaking Minish Village. Although he has a different thing. And... oh, God! That's cheesy. But pretty much, he's giving us access to a certain item that we need to progress onwards. Ow, ow, ow! I just smacked my hip on something. You have a hip? Well, not my hip, my... whatever it is I have now. My brim? Whatever. That old fool must love sending people on dangerous missions. And how did that library get into the Temple of Droplets anyway? I guess the answer lies up ahead. Keep moving, boy. My boy. Oh, Slagulas. You all die in one hit now. And look at us, we're actually using the Gust Jar for stuff. In fact, that's one thing I really do like about this game, like, opposed to many other Zelda games, maybe aside Majora's Mask, is that you're always using the items you get. In fact, you do that a lot in the handheld games in general. And now we got these guys, I forget what they're called. I think they're called antlions, but I don't quite remember. They're rather easy. But for beating them, we get the flippers! Now we can swim majestically. And there's this weird frozen chest over here. We can't do anything about this yet, but remember this kind of thing for later, because we're going to be coming back to a lot of these if I recall correctly. And now where are we? But in the southern part of the town. So I actually turned back into a normal human size. Because with that, we've completed the library side quest, and we've actually gotten the flippers, which is what we need to access the next dungeon. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And next time on Let's Play The Legend of Zelda, The Minish Cap, we are actually going to be doing a lot more side quest stuff here in the town and the surrounding areas, getting some more heart pieces and such in the process. See you guys then.